There was a conversation or question earlier about scheduling. So scheduling, planning, scheduling communications, the king, knowing when to distribute communications and how frequently will positively set your business apart from others. So if you have a last minute update, we often get taxed with it. Your best bet to get that update to circulate fast is to utilize something like a Twitter or a WhatsApp or a Messenger. I'm talking about in the next hour, I got to tell all these people. Posting up stuff, post this picture up because in the next 3 hours we're going to have this is not really going to work. Using a post, you're going to have to go with a more direct attack. Twitter is a good tool for that. WhatsApp and Messenger. So if you were having messages with customers and pulling them out of comments into conversations, you can literally sit there and go through and message. And don't forget the other tools I talked about when we first started, which was push notifications. If you have a SMS, a text messaging platform, that's another thing. Those platforms typically have scheduling tools as well. You want to leverage those tools. Social media and post, it really doesn't work to, hey, post this up now because I think I'm going to get 1 million people. It doesn't kick the momentum like that. Even if you have, I have some clients that have 18,000 followers and stuff. It doesn't get the momentum going. It takes the assumption is everybody's sitting there online waiting on you. That's not the case. So you need tools that are more rapid and quick with notifications. But I do mention, okay, so boost and post, which I'm not a big fan of, but if you really gotta get it going, target the group and boost it. Because now at that point, if your objective is to get something to someone immediately and break through our barriers, the quickest way is going to be to run that boost. I use boost for that. You'll see me use a boost, and that's because a client said, I have a problem. We just ran out of this and we just had a special, and I'm worried that everybody is headed my way with this special. How can we communicate that? We're going to boost it. We're going to boost it. We're not going to get into this whole Facebook learning algorithm AI thing. We're just going to burn through it and get it. So boost can be used effectively in planning communications. Go live, of course. I won't beat that horse down. But scheduling, I want to get to one of the tools. Look at a tool called buffer.com. There's all sorts. There's Hootsuite, and they all go up in price, and some give you freemium versions, and then there's premium. I like to use Buffer. I do some things on a personal level with my LinkedIn page, and I found that Buffer on a personal level for me and business, I'm able to put, I think, 4 social profiles in for absolutely free. So I typically run in my Buffer, I'll run my LinkedIn, I'll run my Facebook group, I'll run my personal Facebook page, and then I might run Twitter or Twitter in it. And so Buffer will let you do it, I believe, up to 4. If it's not 4, it's 3, but 4 is what I remember. At least I might be grandfathered in. But that's a good tool to use. Hootsuite's a good tool to use. Built-in tools of the network. It might seem a little bit irritating at first. Let me jump out of here. Wait, wrong one. To use some of these tools, I'm gonna let you peek here. You can also hopefully still see my screen. I jumped out of the presentation. But I'm gonna jump over really quick. I think we're right at time.
We're good, Kenny. You
okay, I just wanted to check that if anyone's on that was really tight on time because we did a little longer intro and you have to go, don't worry about it. I promise I'll wrap this up in probably about 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so. I just want to walk through some of the things I promised that I would show. And so if I can, I'm going to take about 5-10 minutes showing this. Remember I told you about that dashboard I come in. This is headed back in the positive. This was a depressing in the 100,000 negatives. My reach is dropping and stuff like that. But my ad accounts are up now, 280, up. So we're spending more than that, but we're up 260. We have a lot of clients that pause their advertising during this time. And that's not the thing to do, really. the tool I was going to show is, oh, let me go. I don't think you guys mind over at Overtown if I show your page, do you?
We're good. It's
Okay.
good.
I might have some friends and followers of other clients and I didn't get their permission. They'd be like, Kenny was on there showing everything, girl. He was showing the, be like, calm down. I'm going to show you the back end of something. Let me see how I get there. It's called Creator Studio. You want to get a business profile set up with Facebook. You go to business.facebook.com. And the reason is it really lets you organize some various things, right? And Instagram publishing is experiencing issues. Isn't that great? That's what I wanted to show off here. But if I wanted to create a post, let's say, on
Of
Instagram.
course, that's what would happen, Kenny.
Uh-huh.
Of course, that's what would happen.
Yep. I get to get in here, and of course, I'm not going to post this, but on Instagram, of course, choosing a location, going in here, and it picks a place for me. The big part is the scheduling tools. Of course, next to the scheduling, there's an arrow there. Let me see if I can just randomly pick a picture here. We're not going to post this. Probably going to be some crazy picture. I've been working on a baby website. Let me see if my computer's going to behave itself quickly. I could have picked from Facebook, but you can schedule from within the tool itself. Obviously, and for those that may or may not know that, we work that to death without having to pay for, big giant services. Let's see, I'm just going to drop this here. Let it be a baby. So over in here, we schedule, we schedule posts right on the platform. A lot of people like to automate. Automation and simplicity comes at a cost. So I wouldn't necessarily leverage and push toward automate. I say, no, what you really want to do is leverage. When you outgrow these tools, then yeah, go ahead and get a Hootsuite or pay the premium version for Buffer and all these other tools. We have another one we use called Only Pull It. That's a favorite of the team. It's really awesome because it lets us do all sorts of stuff with Facebook stories, and it tracks it. They all have all these different tracking features and stuff, but scheduling is key, and you definitely want to leverage that. Another thing I wanted to show, let me think here really politely. Let's go back here. Is what we talked about, conversations with people and making sure that you keep the conversations going. So in the inbox of Overtown, it's 20 of something. We click in that inbox on a business level. Instagram is always doing pretty well for the group, but we go in and see what's this chatter. Thanks for all you do, 2 hours ago. It's hard to monitor these things 24 hours. Some people have it on their phones, and they're popping in. Anybody that can do that, that's exactly, you want to stay connected. But if you can't, you put it on a schedule. Maybe every 3 hours or so, you come back and check to see how your inbox is doing. And then you hit reply and you go down and you type back messages to people. And you start to conversate with them. On Facebook, I'm in the comments section on Facebook, and in the comments section on Facebook, what was that last comment? It would seem like an agonizing job, but this person says, love it. Why not like? And then here's an opportunity to take this person, reply to them, and basically say, hey, have you heard about this? We're doing this next week. Here's a link. Go take a look. Look where are you sending them? Don't send them to the home page. Send them to the page, the landing page, right? And that's causing more activity happening on this post, which increases the reach, and then more engagement, which increases the reach. You want to drive up comments, which increases more comments, because that triggers people to look to see what the comments are. And then they start commenting, and then more people start sharing. That's how you create the virality of your content. In the messaging area, let me see, down here, I promised to show you instant saved messages. So you can go in here and you create a save reply. Enter the reply title. It can be, yes, we are open. And then you write the message. You can add a photo. You can put a link in here, up to 1,000 characters. You save it. Then when you're getting ready to respond to somebody, you click on the message. It has a title. You click it, boom. You've given them a whole paragraph, hopefully not too much for them to digest, but you've given them all the pertinent information you think they asked for. And you can even personalize it by adding a little personalization in the message, which says, hey, use the person's first name, then type the message. And you can look at more personalized features, you know, website, phone number, email address, all these personalized features that you can give a person when you're having a conversation with them. You can see they're giving you examples. Please call us at. Don't retype your phone number 100 times and make a typo. That could ruin your business. These save replies that we were talking about. Last little area I'm going to show you. And please, if you have a question, please definitely raise your hands or send in a message, and be more than happy to answer. But I'm excited. I want to show you this area. I love this stuff, by the way. So I sleep, drink, eat, live this stuff, social media. So let me see here. Oh, I'll just go ahead and create an ad. Doesn't matter which account. So remember we talked about boosting, right? And that's pretty exciting. You hit one button and life is simple, okay? But here's door number 2 in Ads Manager behind Facebook for those that have never seen it and understand it. What is your marketing objective? Awareness. They say, increase the awareness of your brand, increase people who are likely to be interested in it. Now, this is where it really gets interesting for a minute, because brand awareness, and you say, listen to what Facebook promises. They say this is going to increase the awareness of your brand, your business, your organization, your product, or whatever, by reaching people who are more likely to be interested in it. And then someone would say, how do you do that? That's that artificial intelligence thing I'm telling you about, right? It's going to look for people who are more interested, and it knows that people would be likely to be interested because it just saw a behavior from someone else who interacted with your ad, and now they're starting to categorize who's interested, who's not. It's a learning process Facebook goes through. It takes about 50 activity engagements to really get the science down perfect. But after they get 50 people that do what you want them to do, they go find you thousands in the group that you're targeting, of course. Your target group needs to be a good size group, but then they start to show your content, your ad, your promotion, your offers, your specials to the right people. Boost can't do that. A brand awareness campaign can. They have reach, which is really the boost. Show your ad to the maximum number of people. I'd be scared to death to use that a little bit. Show your ad to the maximum number of people. Old school, that's what we want to do. Just show it to everybody. That's the term of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. That's a strategy. It just generally doesn't work well. This strategy, show it to the people who are more likely to be interested, has some substance. This strategy, consideration, send more people to the destination, my website, my app, my messaging conversation. This is a strategy that has an end story, a purpose. Engagement, which is this one here that says, get more likes, get more event responses. I touched my phone and it lost its mind. Get more likes, event responses, or claim an offer. This system knows how to get that. Video views. I'm going to skip app installs. Get more people to view your video. How is that possible? How do you get more people to view? Sounds pretty simple. They know who would like to view and who doesn't because they're literally learning. Lead generations, messages is important. Get more people to send a message. Why? Here's something really cool that'll blow your mind. If you can get 1,000 messages, and that's a lot, in 30 days, You can run a message campaign that when you remember that, oh, the roof is on fire message. You now have 1,000 people that you've talked to in the last 30 days. You can now run a campaign that goes directly, boom, into those folks, directly to those folks without, but you need at least 1,000 conversations in one day or you don't qualify for it. You can get people to click the message button to start one, but you don't qualify to run a true messaging campaign till you reach 1,000. So this objective is to drive the messages. Conversions is awesome because if you have an event like the one we have today and we run a campaign that says, we're looking for people who will register. Well, if we run a campaign, you get to the registration page, the landing page, you then sign up and you say done. The done page reports back to Facebook, Paul just did it. Then Paul goes to get Karen and Karen just did it. What is common between Paul and Karen? Looks like Pete might do it. Pete goes over, Pete does it. Look at that. What's common between Paul, Karen, and Pete? Then they show it to Steve. Steve, they start to build this thing. All of a sudden you go, my event is shooting through the roof. My event is shooting through the roof on it. There's a question that comes in that says, what grants that get offered by Facebook. I'm not familiar with Facebook's pretty stingy on terms of grants for Facebook, but who is not very stingy is Google. Google for nonprofits. If you're a nonprofit,
That's what I meant, Kenny. Google.
Okay, excellent. If you're, and this is a hot topic, and I'm glad you posed it as a question, Graylin. If you own a nonprofit organization, this is something that just is staggering, and I wish Facebook would do it, but maybe one day, maybe now during a pandemic, they would consider it. Google gives to nonprofit organizations, not physically a check of $10,000 a month, but a virtual check, so to speak, of advertisement, access to advertisement. Search engine only advertisement, right? But advertising nonetheless, where we all use, well, a lot of us use, I would think most of us on the call use Google to run searches, to do searches, and you type in a keyword. And then what comes up first are the paid ads, 2 or 3. Then below that, sometimes they show a location map, depending on how your search was. Then they start to show the organics. A lot of us in the business of SEO, search engine optimization, are very upset because the marquee page 1 is being taken up by 3 to 4 ads, a listing. They got some others with more suggestions. Now there's 2 spots on page 1. How does a nonprofit win? Google grants. You want to register for, and all you got to do is type in Google grant. It will take you to the right pages to begin that process. As you begin that process and register your business for it, they have a little help files, but if you really need help, my hand is raised to walk anyone through a quick presentation of how to kind of get your first Google ads set up for Google grants. Because once you use that, that's free money. Do you know what I would do if they gave me $10,000 a month? That is $333.33 per day. We know the math because we manage some of those accounts. I can't spend the money fast enough. I've booked almost every keyword humanly possible. In these businesses, what they get as a result is they get lots of traffic coming to their page. And if you target it, you're able to still pick cities and states. You start to circulate. Right now, for those that are in the education space, your Google grant is king. Parents, hand raised here, are looking for tutors, someone to help. If you got services and products and initiatives that are your Google grant needs to have 30, 50, 40 ads. That sounds like a lot, but each one of those ads have a combination of audience types it's trying to chase after, because people have been taking to Google in droves since the pandemic. Yes, the hot word is corona, coronavirus pandemic, but those that are looking for services and help and support. And if you're a nonprofit and you're in that space and you offer that and you don't have Google grant, you got to get with Graylin, get my email address, pick it up, Google Release Solutions. There's a schedule button. You got to start the conversation right now. In fact, you had to start it yesterday, so you're late. You got to get going on it. Why? It will breathe a second life if you're struggling into your business. That's one. Two, even if you're not struggling, if you kind of are pandemic proof, which no one is really, it will at least open your organization up to a new set of donors and supporters. Really easy, because they just didn't know. And people are at home right now and they're looking for help and support. Therefore, doing this would wake that up. I hope that, hey, we didn't really have a question. That was a good suggestion to put in. Anyone else want a topic you want me to touch on? I think I beat to death. You can see the store traffic one, which is one we used to leverage, is dead because no one's inviting anyone to come in anyone's stores. So it's not a marketing objective that we can go after at the moment, which hurt because I used to leverage that one a lot. Any other questions?
Hey, Kenny, can you show the conversion math?
Yeah, we had talked about that. Let's see. Let me see let me see something. Y'all gonna see more than you need to see. I should have opened it up. Let me open it up on my other window. Hold on. Because I actually have a spreadsheet that does that, Walter, that shows how to calculate. The question is, and I'm going to run through it really quick as I look for the spreadsheet, and I'll share this spreadsheet with anyone. The proper way to figure out something. So Walter and I were talking earlier about running a campaign. And the first question I often ask people is, how many people are you trying to get? So I said to Walter, he gave me the number of folks he was trying to get. And I told him, well, I want you to know this much, that every time in a paid advertising situation on Facebook, it's what we're looking at over here, conversions and different things, it costs, even when you're running traffic campaigns, no matter what I do, no matter what most of us do, it seems to always cost 1 cent, 1 penny to reach a person, okay? So let me see if I can find my calculator. It costs about 1 cent to reach a person on Facebook. And because it costs 1 cent to reach a person on Facebook, you start to automatically come to the conclusion of, and I bet you I'm not going to find it, so I'm going to let you guys see my proprietary system that I use to do this, okay? I was debating about showing that, but I'm going to show that because I show people all the time this system. I wrote a system that actually does the calculation for you, because we have people who run campaigns. We have customers that run campaigns all the time. And in the campaign run, I ask these same questions of every one of my clients about what you're trying to do, what are you trying to make? Come on, tell me, stop keeping this secret from me, right? And the first thing I ask them is, how many people are you trying to get? Now, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but I'm going to run through it really quick. Key API. Let me see here. So most of my clients, and this might not be a realistic one. Here's one that's fair. Okay. Blow this up a little bit so you can see it on the screen. Expand it out. All right. So here's a client who has a revenue goal, a specific revenue goal of trying to attain $6,743. The average purchase value is 28 bucks. They have a marketing investment of 8% of the total gross. They're basically going to spend 600 bucks. So they're saying, Kenneth, what can I get with 600 bucks? Well, with 600 bucks, we know to make this revenue goal, we need 234 customers. We start to do some estimates and say that we know about the 1 cent conversion models and stuff like that. So that if you have, And here it comes, the cost per impression, 1 cent to reach a person. But if I spend 1 cent to reach a person, how many people can that get me if I have $600? Well, if I have $600 and I got 1 penny to spend per person with that 600, that will let me reach 60,000 people. Okay. So once I know I can reach 60,000 people, you go, okay, 60,000 people is a lot of people. It depends on how far you fall from grace, because to send a message to 60,000 people, I ask people, how many people do you think are going to click? I've had some of the best answers I've ever heard in my life. Some people say, oh, that's simple. You should get about half, 30,000 will click. You go, okay, so if I show 60,000 people something, 30,000 will click. What would happen if I told you only 4% would click? You go, how many is that, right? So as you start to pull out a calculator, I'm gonna look calculator, I like this calculator. Did I take my calculator away? I always have my calculator. Okay, I don't have my calculator. You start with 60,000 people, you do 4% of 60,000, you get to another number. I'm gonna pull that number up, pull my spreadsheet over here. There's a number of people that you reach with that. 60,000 times 4% is what? Anybody got a calculator they pull out? Let me drop it over here really quick. Come on, stop fighting me. There we go. So 60,000 people times 4%, oops, times 0.04 means that 2,400 people would click through if you run a traffic or conversion campaign. So if 2,400 people click through on your website, I ask a person, how many people do you think would convert? I've had people tell me 50%. And go, well, that just depends on the kind of product you have, right? But what would happen if conservatively, let's say 2,400 people click through, but only 10% buy? That's 240 people. I go, great. What would happen if that was only 4%? That's 96 people. If you spent $600, would you pay, take 600 and divide it by 96 people, $6.25 to get one customer? Depends on what your product is. So you want to, when you're thinking about conversions, you really got to know and pay attention to what rate. Now there's no exact science to this, so you have to monitor your performance of your campaign. If you need a rate, you need those customers to come through at a 20% rate of purchase. That's awesome because it's $1.20, $25. But that means you need 480 people to purchase. And if you run a campaign in 3 days, which I bark if somebody comes to me with that, but that's not enough time to get the conversion, because now you know how many you have to convert per day. Therefore, you want to give your campaigns ample time to convert and ample time to study what's happening along the way. I look at a campaign every 48 hours, every 2 days. Therefore, if you're running a 3-day campaign, I don't have enough time to respond to making adjustments to try to get to this number. And the adjustments we would make is, who are we talking to, the audience? Facebook, it takes them 7 days to learn how to optimize your campaign. So in 7 days' time, they hope to get 50 or so people so they can learn how to best serve your ad. So if you're running an ad under a week, we even talked to you about the type of objective and the expectations. But if you got a couple of weeks, 2 and 3, to plan out your campaigns, you want to use different models, but know that that 1 cent per person is what it costs. So if you need, you always start with what you need. You say, I need 50 people. And I say, you need 50 people. Well, take 50 and multiply it by 25, because that's what 4% is. You need 1,250 people to click through. And if you only get 4% of the 12 people, you can take the 1,250 and multiply that by 25 as well. You need to reach 31,250 people in your audience. Now, don't just limit it to that, because Facebook needs to learn. So we tell people, go ahead and multiply that. I know this is a lot, but by 4, build your audience network to 125,000 people and run your campaign. You go, cool, what's it going to cost? At 1 cent, it's $312 to start. You say to get 50 people? We need to optimize. we got to go back with different assumptions. There's it's a modeling. It's modeling and figuring out what is it that you're willing to spend. That's the type of questions I ask too. You say, I need to spend 10 cents per person. We can talk, but I'm going to tell you realistically what kind of conversion rate, and that was the question, what kind of conversion do you need? So that's how we kind of calculate conversions. Yeah, I don't know if that hit it on the topic for you, Milton. I went a long way around. I mean, Walter, I'm thinking of somebody else. Milton, I'm thinking about my barber. My barber's name is Milton. You see what's wrong with me?
You ain't getting a haircut for a while, man.
Right. Oh my God. My barber's name is Milton. Ooh. Oh, God.
No, thanks for that, Math. I appreciate that.
No problem. Well, if that's all the questions, we took a little longer, but that's what I had. We'll package all this up into, look, Chris will do the download of the video and stuff, and we'll package all this up into something. I might do a little bit of edits to speed it up, cut here and there.
Well, thank you, Kenny. This has really been interesting and enlightening and educational. And I think especially, this conversion discussion in terms of how people can use Google to help promote their website and their marketing needs. So if there's not any more questions or any comments, did we find it useful? You want to show by hands? Can you raise your hand? Everyone found it useful?
Is it a virtual raise? You have to virtually raise your hand. Stop, I can't see your hand.
I know I'm trying to be all techie, But thank you once again. Anyone else like to have any closing remarks? I definitely want everyone to stay safe and, follow all of the health guidelines, and let's just keep our businesses as active and our projects and initiatives going, and just use this effort to just step it up.
Excellent.
Yes, and there will be a survey emailed to everyone. It's going to come from Mentimeter. So if you can complete that, that would be great, so we can have feedback on this call today. That's the only thing I had to share, Graylin.
And anybody want to make any general announcement? Anything coming? We have folk on that could participate in any of your projects. Feel free to do a shout out.
Yeah, Project Ease. Kenny kind of shouted us out a few times. We got tutoring Monday through Thursday, 11 to 2. And we have an afternoon session from 3:30 to 5. So if you have any friends, neighbors, cousins, nephews, nieces that need tutoring or academic support during this time, we all know they do. Feel free to visit our website. We're gonna drive the people there. We're doing it right, Kenny.
All right.
We're driving them to the website. You can register for both of those sessions. You can attend as many sessions as you would like, Monday through Thursday.
Yes, we have teachers online as well as tutors.
100% state certified teachers, some specializing specifically in math, others specializing in different subject areas. So whatever you need help with, we got you.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, everyone, and thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Good deal.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks, Kenny.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Kenny. Good
All right.
job.
Thank you, Kenny. That was amazing.